If you've got a jar of mayo in your fridge, chances are it's Hellmann's mayonnaise. But how did it get there? And on so many grocery store shelves? And what sets this brand leader apart? Here's everything you've ever wanted to know about Hellmann's mayonnaise. The history of commercially produced mayonnaise begins with Richard Hellmann, an immigrant from Germany who owned a delicatessen in Manhattan. In 1905, he began jarring and selling his wife's signature condiment, yes, mayonnaise, at this very deli. Soon, the product became so popular that he left the deli and opened a factory dedicated solely to producing his mayonnaise. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of the country, in San Francisco, California, a company called Best Foods began manufacturing their own version of mayonnaise. In 1932, Best Foods acquired Hellmann's, and their new slogan, one mayonnaise recipe, one mayonnaise brand, two unique names, pretty much told the whole story. West of the Rockies, Best Foods continued to reign supreme, while Hellmann's dominated everything east of them. Then, in the 1960s, Best Foods made the leap and adopted Hellmann's signature blue ribbon on its packaging, forever uniting the two. By 2000, the European conglomerate Unilever acquired Best Foods for $20.3 billion. And now, whether you call it Hellmann's or Best Foods, the brand is considered the gold standard of commercially produced mayonnaise, representing almost half of all sales of the condiment in the United States annually.
Hellmann's.
Hellmann's. Hellmann's.
Hellmann's!
State fairs have long been the place to showcase the biggest and best of everything. And for winners in every category, from produce to cheese, from baked creations to livestock, getting that first place blue ribbon has always been the ultimate goal. And it is also believed that this all-American tradition may have been the inspiration for Hellmann's distinct blue ribbon labeling. According to Hellmann's company history, when Richard Hellmann began selling his wife's mayonnaise, there were actually two versions. To differentiate between them, he wrapped the one he preferred in a shiny blue ribbon. By 1917, Hellmann trademarked the name Blue Ribbon Mayonnaise, and in the late 1960s, Best Foods adopted the blue ribbon labeling too. The identification of Hellmann's mayonnaise as real isn't just a marketing ploy. While the term mayo has no legal designation, the term mayonnaise cannot be randomly slapped on a label without following specific regulations from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. According to the FDA, real mayonnaise must contain at least 65% by weight of vegetable oil, vinegar, and egg or egg yolks. Additionally, spices and seasonings can be added for flavor, with the exception of saffron and turmeric, presumably because they can be used to artificially alter the color of the condiment to appear to contain eggs. This distinction may be most important when comparing Hellmann's to Miracle Whip, because Miracle Whip contains less than the designated 65% oil necessary to be considered a mayonnaise. It is labeled as a dressing. If you want real mayo, stick with Hellmann's. Beginning in 2017, Hellmann's mayonnaise was the only brand in the U.S. produced using only cage-free eggs. Additionally, Hellmann's mayonnaise sources its oil from responsible soybean farmers focused on land use, conservation, soil carbon, irrigation water use, water quality, energy use, and greenhouse gas emissions. But its commitment to helping the environment doesn't end there. In 2020, Hellmann's transitioned to utilizing only 100% recycled and recyclable plastic jars throughout North America. It also has its sights on ensuring that 100% of its packaging is reusable, recyclable, and compostable by 2025. However, it notes that this goal is more complicated than it sounds, particularly because the lack of technology available to consistently process recyclables. Thus, part of its agenda is to invest in infrastructure and research to make recycling more efficient and widely available, standing by a company philosophy that emphasizes more taste and less waste. Another way Hellmann's helps the environment is by taking part in a United Nations initiative to cut food waste in half by 2030. Hellmann's has launched two programs promoting their Make Taste, Not Waste campaign. The first is its Fridge Night app, a free downloadable app and ebook which has proven to cut food waste almost in half among users. The 4-week program encourages users to commit to eating leftovers one night per week. It includes recipes, reminders, and incentives like coupons and food donations, all intended to increase awareness of the ways in which each of us can play a part in stopping food waste. The second program involves the Nintendo game, Animal Crossing New Horizon. For every spoiled turnip donated by a player to Hellmann's Island, Hellmann's has committed to donating 2 meals to a UK charity called FareShare. So far, both programs have successfully inspired over 200 million people throughout the US, Canada, and the UK, representing a 33% reduction in food waste. There's no greater way for a product to garner attention than with a Super Bowl ad, and Hellmann's Super Bowl ads are always memorable. The 2021 ad for Hellmann's featured Amy Schumer as the fairy god Mayo, who had the power to transform leftovers into delicious dishes with the flick of her wand.
Who are you?
I'm your fairy god, Mayo.
In 2022, the Hellmann Super Bowl ad took advantage of linebacker-turned-professional football coach Gerard Mayo's name by having him as a spokesman, encouraging viewers to tackle food waste. And this year, Jon Hamm and Brie Larson teamed up to create an ad for Hellmann's using their sandwich-friendly names as a jumping-off point. But all of this great publicity doesn't come cheap. This year, a 30-second spot costs a cool $7 million. Old-fashioned as it may seem, Hellmann's also knows how to move forward with the times, evolving to suit customers' needs. And it proved this in 2016 by adding both organic and vegan offerings to the product line. Its organic options utilize organic cage-free eggs and organic expeller-pressed oil, and the products are free of preservatives and artificial flavorings. It comes in 4 flavors, including original, roasted garlic, spicy chipotle, and mild curry. The vegan option, which is called a dressing in accordance with FDA standards regarding the use of the term mayonnaise, is certified vegan and made with non-GMO ingredients including canola oil, sugar, vinegar, corn and potato starches, concentrated lemon juice, and spices. Hellmann's vegan mayo is also cholesterol-free. Hellmann's has continued moving forward in other ways, including the addition of Drizzle sauces to the lineup. All are created without the use of artificial flavors or high-fructose corn syrup, and are available in 5 unique flavors. Roasted garlic sauce is made with real garlic, and can be used on just about anything. Creamy chili honey sauce brings the heat, and makes a great French fry sauce. Both sauces are gluten and dairy-free. Cilantro lime sauce blends hatch chilies, tomatillos, and avocado, and was created to pair with Mexican-inspired dishes. All 3 of these sauces, garlic, chili honey, and cilantro lime, are gluten and dairy-free. The jalapeno ranch and creamy sriracha sauces are good on everything from avocado toast to eggs to salads. Though keep in mind, these 2 are not gluten or dairy-free. Sure, we've talked about how delicious mayonnaise is, but did you know it has some surprising benefits that have nothing to do with lunch? Well, if you're familiar with the excruciating discomfort of a sunburn, check out this tip. Did you know that applying mayonnaise to your skin can seriously soothe one? Not only will it alleviate the pain of a sunburn by cooling the area, but it also helps moisturize your skin. Just remember, it's not magic, just mayo, so it will not heal the sunburn, though it will provide welcome relief. And next time, please remember the sunscreen. Who doesn't love a grilled cheese sandwich? It's the perfect comfort food and a quick, inexpensive meal in a pinch. Sure, you can jazz up your grilled cheese by using different kinds of bread, combining gourmet cheeses such as brie, or adding other ingredients to the mix like ham.
I'm Brie.
Yeah, I'm John.
I know, but you're John who?
John Hamm.
So we're Brie and...
Brie and Ham. Ham and Brie. I get it.
But the thing that'll completely change your grilled cheese game is substituting mayonnaise for butter on the exterior of the bread before grilling, toasting, or otherwise heating it up. And while it's certainly true that both butter and mayonnaise work well in terms of browning or grilled cheese sandwich, mayonnaise is a bit more convenient since you don't have to wait for your butter to soften. It also adds a special level of tanginess, beautifully accenting the luxurious, melty cheese. But this is not the time to try to save on fat or calories by using low-fat or light mayonnaise, as it lacks the proper fat content to adequately crisp your sandwich. If you've ever been to Europe, you may have noticed that many countries will bring you a side of mayonnaise, not ketchup with your fries. In fact, at most McDonald's in France, they charge for ketchup. But if you'd like some packets of mayonnaise with your crispy spuds, those are available for free. Clearly, Europeans, including the Belgians, the French, and the Dutch, believe that French fries and mayonnaise are a match made in heaven.
You know what they put on French fries in Holland instead of ketchup? Or what? Mayonnaise?
One reason Europeans prefer mayo on their fries might be because of the double frying technique that's popular in this part of the world. It is believed that the creamy mayonnaise lends itself far better to this type of French fry than a more acidic condiment like ketchup. Mayonnaise in cake sounds disgusting, but if you think about the basic components of a cake, flour, sugar, eggs, and oil, the notion of substituting mayo for the eggs and oil in a cake recipe isn't that far-fetched. Still, you won't be surprised to hear that this idea sprung from some desperate times. During the Great Depression, eggs and oil became just too pricey for most households to obtain. Enter mayonnaise, which was, and still is, affordable, shelf-stable, and widely available. Though it may sound odd to us now, mayonnaise cake recipes have saved many birthdays, holidays, and special occasions. In fact, mayonnaise cake became so popular, the recipe was printed on the back of Hellmann's jars for many years.